Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl, B Sparrow, BuzzzTweet Talk Radio, BeeSparrowTalk. How y'all doing today on this beautiful Monday? All praises to the Most High Yah for waking me up this morning. And if you are within the sound of my voice, I'm thankful that He woke you up this morning too. I really am thankful. I hope you guys had a great Sabbath over the weekend. I've rested and studied, rested and listened to videos, listened to the Bible all day Saturday. So yes, there is an article to be read. You know, lately we've been talking about the migrants being dropped off. Governor Ron DeSantis from Florida and Governor Greg Abbott from Texas, they've been dropping migrants off in major cities, and it's really becoming overwhelming for a lot of the mayors in the cities. Like the mayor of D.C., she has already filed for funding to help house these migrants. Now, I don't have anything against migrants coming to this country to, have a better life, even though this country is on the brink of breaking. My problem is that these migrants are being pushed in the forefront ahead of homeless people already here in the United States of this here America and already in these major cities. These migrants are being pushed to the forefront. And I said, it's not fair. It's not fair. This country is in dire need of, there's a gas shortage. There's diseases going around. The diseases that I went and got vaccinated for as a little girl are making a major comeback. Chickenpox, polio, all of these things are making a major comeback. And so these governors are dropping these migrants off in hopes that they are teaching this Democratic administration who allows them to come in. They are trying to teach them a lesson and show them what it's like when migrants are encamped on your city, on your state, when they come into the country illegally. So if you guys will allow me to fetch my article, I'll do just that. It's your girl, B Sparrow, and she'll be right back. Okay? Okay. BuzzzTweet Talk Radio do not own copyright for this copyrighted material, but under Section 107 United States Copyright Office, Copyright Act 1976, this video, the music and content it contains is for education and or entertainment purposes only.
All right, I know people have been sitting there, but I got to bring this queen up here. B Sparrow. B Sparrow. I was keeping my eye on that sparrow. What's up, B Sparrow?
I can't call it, and again, I can't call it. It's your girl, B Sparrow, bringing y'all these articles that we break them down on Friday. We break them down and talk about all the articles that we posted during the week or that we read and talked about during the week. On Fridays, our weekly recap. We call it the cap or the weekly cap. Join us at noon on the BeeSparrowTalk or BuzzzTweet Talk Radio channel on YouTube. You will enjoy it. We have fun. And we argue, we disagree, but we always come back. And, the show is in full circle, y'all. I want to thank my subscribers. Yes, that's the word. I want to thank my subscribers. Right now, I am up to 475. Like I said, the subscriptions go up and down, up and down, up and down. But nevertheless, I thank you guys for subscribing to my channel and kicking it with me. Okay, so I did fetch my articles, and we are talking about migrants being dropped off in major cities by the Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida and Governor Greg Abbott of Texas. This article says Mayor Adams says migrants could be housed on cruise ships. So New York City shelters are so overwhelmed by the migrant crisis that Mayor Eric Adams is considering using cruise ships as temporary housing. The article goes on to say, we examine everything from the legality of using any type of cruise ship for temporary housing. We're looking for everything to see how do we deal with this. Adams made the suggestion just hours before the Post reported that a record number of 9 buses carrying immigrants traveled into the city. And that's New York City. Each bus typically carries 40 to 50 migrants. The influx is crippling the New York shelter system. Full-time facilities are being pushed to the brink and affecting the quality of life in the neighborhood. The city has opened 23 emergency shelters, but there are still not enough beds. Cruise ships could help alleviate the stress, according to Adams, and were once an alternative, the Bloomberg administration considered during his own migration surge. Adams did not disclose any further details regarding the potential floating shelters, but slammed federal policy of barring migrants from working in the U.S. before obtaining work permits. He says, we're saying you can come here, but you are not allowed to work. That is unbelievable, Adams said, noting the shortage in various sectors, including food, healthcare, and transit. We need to look and see what we are facing. We need to look and see what shortages we're facing. How do we go about allowing people to take care of themselves? If not, we, the government, must take care of them. That just makes no sense. On Friday, U.S. Christian Gillibrand, Democrat, suggested relocating newly arrived migrants to upstate cities that are experiencing unemployment issues, a move that could also score the municipalities serious federal funding. We also talked about how the migrants was dropped off at Kamala Harris's residence last week. So a busload of migrants was dropped off at her residence last week. This is really getting out of hand, and I think that it's a serious matter that needs to be talked about and needs to be dealt with. We're going to talk about it some more. I'll be right back after this ad break. It's your girl, B Sparrow, BuzzzTweet Talk Radio. Holla if y'all hear me. Okay? This is B Sparrow and BuzzzTweet Radio. Lately, I've been using my phone to earn some extra cash for groceries, for hair care products, for cleaning products. You heard me right. I used my cell phone to earn extra cash. How do you do that, B? I'm so glad you asked. Let me tell you how. I installed the ModeApp on my phone. This app is available in the Google Play Store as well as Apple Store. Once the app was installed, I set up my Mode account and started playing music from some of my favorite artists. It's amazing that I made money just by listening to my favorite songs. And you can do this anywhere, while out and about, while traveling, or even while you are working. Search and play music from over 100,000 radio stations. Earn Mode coins while playing music and games on your phone. Redeem for Amazon or PayPal cards. You can also redeem for Visa gift cards and more. I personally prefer to use PayPal, and I cash out about $40 a month. All I had to do was listen to music and they gave me money. You can do the same thing. Hey, you're going to be on your phone anyway. Might as well get paid for it. Install the ModeApp today. An installation link can be found in the description box below. Hey, this is BeeSparrow. We're in the middle of a pandemic and there's nothing more important than keeping yourself and your family safe. But social distancing does not have to impact your ability to earn a living. Novi Consultants connects people like you to job opportunities with Fortune 500 companies from the comfort of your own home. Visit www.noviconsultants.com today. Okay, y'all, we're back and we're black. We're talking about the migrants being dropped off in the major cities by governors Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott. And it's kind of like a domino effect. Other cities or states are catching on. A busload was dropped off at, we said, Kamala Harris's residence and at Martha's Vineyard. As Ron DeSantis points out, there were more journalists in Martha's Vineyard last week than ever have gone to the southern border to report on the humanitarian catastrophe, Joe Biden's open border. So they call themselves punishing the Biden administration by dropping these busloads of migrants off in major cities. They don't know who they are letting in this country. They don't know who they spreading around in this country. They don't know. They could be terrorists. They could be any kind of... And then, on top of that, they are worried about the diseases that are spreading. They are letting people in this country in the middle of a pandemic. Wow. This article says, it's the ugly truth to the eternal shame of American journalism. The New York Times listed no fewer than 14 bylines on its hysterical Martha Vineyard coverage. The Washington Post featured 6 bylines on a single story. DeSantis was declared cruel, inhumane, and guilty of human trafficking. Ooh, so I know that these mayors in these major cities are trying to see what type of legal action they can take against these mayors. And human trafficking was one thing that came up. The article goes on to say, but when it came to the hundreds of secret migrant flights the Biden administration has been sending in the dead of night from the southern border to White Plains Airport in Westchester for at least 14 months. Crickets. So I didn't know that Joe Biden, the administration, was doing that. Let me read that again to make sure that I'm understanding what's happening. It says, but when it came to the hundreds of secret migrant flights the Biden administration has been sending in the dead of night from the southern border to White Plains airports in Westchester for at least 14 months, crickets. So ain't nobody talking about that, in other words. As more than 8,500 illegal migrants flood over the border every day, Joe Biden has created a historic crisis with ramifications that will echo for generations. Yet it has been pretty much ignored by the mainstream media with a few honorable exceptions. Ike Bill Melugin says, wait a minute now. Yet it has been pretty much ignored by mainstream media with a few honorable exceptions like Bill Melugin at Fox News. That is until DeSantis sent a single plane load of illegals to the elite stomping ground of Martha's Vineyard, where 87% of people voted for Joe Biden. Naturally, they had declared the island a sanctuary for illegals, but only theoretically. In practice, they freaked out, called in the National Guard, and deported them as fast as they could off the island into a military camp in Cape Cod. This is serious. President Biden branded the Florida governor an un-American and scrambled to get his cabinet together to stop more illegal aliens being relocated to Democrat sanctuary cities. Disgraced former FBI figures like Russiagate's Andrew Weissman salivated about psyching the DOG into cruel DeSantis. But what DeSantis did was not cruel, according to this article. The migrants loved the vineyard. What is cruel is luring millions of people from around the world to play Biden's version of Squid Game, a lethal journey where they have to place their lives and savings in the hands of vicious criminal people, smugglers, and child-raping cartel members for a chance of a future in America by first breaking our laws. What DeSantis did was not human trafficking, unless that's what you also call what Biden has done, flying illegals around the country after midnight to avoid bad optics at the border. But now the national media attention is on the border. Republicans have an opportunity to exploit an issue where they have the most advantage over Democrats electorally, an issue which appalls decent Americans and which is such a hot potato that the Dem enabling media have burned it. This is really serious. This is really serious. So this article goes on to say Republicans may not be able to help being outspent 10-1 by the party of Wall Street and Silicon Valley and the mega rich, but they should be more proactive in using Biden's failures against his party. Here's the plan. To the rescue comes Stephen Miller, former Trump advisor and founder of America First Legal, who has fashioned the ultimate razor-sharp strategy for the GOP. With 7 weeks to midterms, Republicans can focus the attention of the country on Biden's border crisis by staging a dramatic showdown in Washington, D.C. over the federal budget. The usual process would see Congress pass a stopgap measure known as a Continuing Resolution, or CR, this month to fund the government by maintaining or slightly tweaking spending levels for federal agencies. In December, after the midterms, Miller says the lame duck Congress would then simply ram through a full year-long spending bill, locking in every crisis afflicting the country, including the border. This is, Even if Republicans were to win the House and or the Senate, the border crisis would not be resolved for at least a year, during which time an additional 4 million illegal migrants will cross the border. Miller's plan is for the GOP to refuse to pass the spending bill without an amendment to stop Biden releasing more illegal aliens into the United States of this here America. Since spending bills are usually passed in the Senate by a backroom deal in which Minority Leader Mitch McConnell delivers 15 Republican votes to the Democrat counterpart Chuck Schumer, forcing the border amendment would expire or would require 6 of those 15 Republican Senates to defy him. McConnell serves as their pleasure, and if 26 out of 50 GOP senators want their will to be imposed, they have the power. So this is just a bunch of mess. This is politics, and they are using politics at the expense of poor Americans such as myself, and people that are homeless and living in homeless shelters. They are putting these migrants ahead of American homeless people. No one is talking about that. No one is talking about that. So let me know what y'all think about this. Like, comment, subscribe, not just to my YouTube channel, but come on over here to my podcast on Spreaker.com, BuzzzTweet Talk Radio. Follow me there, and in return, I'll do the same. It's your girl, B Sparrow, BuzzzTweet Talk Radio. Holla at y'all, girl. Okay? Okay.
BuzzzTweet Radio. Yeah, you're listening to BuzzzTweet Radio.